I'm often asked by people why I'm not so quiet and passive like most spiritual practitioners that they know. And I think because I'm not. I am me. I am who I am. And my journey is about finding who I am and how I relate to this world. From what I've read in the sutras and so on, the Buddha was not, he was not docile. He wasn't just that statue you see. He didn't just sit there all the time staring out blankly into space and saying wise things. He was very active. And I often see people who supposedly are teaching happiness, and they don't look happy. Maybe they're not. But for some reason, we all want to get out and teach as soon as we can. And I think it's very important that we continue to be students of Dharma as we're trying to help spread it around and make the world a better place. But I tell people, first and foremost, I'm an American before I'm a Buddhist. And that's very important because if it wasn't for the opportunity our forefathers gave us, Dharma would never have crossed the shore and made its way to Indiana. And my teacher wouldn't have gone from the monasteries of Drepung in South India to Bloomington, Indiana, where he first started teaching, and wind up in Indianapolis where I met him. So I'm an American first. And I make sure to make that point strong that as Dharma comes to America, we have to assimilate the authentic Dharma into our American way of life, which is melting pot society, where we have so many different cultures and ethnicities and worldviews and so on living together. And this is kind of like an opportunity to revive the empire of Ashoka, where all these different worldviews and religions coexisted beautifully together, and they shared together. So I'm moved by the relationship of the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu, or his early relationship with Trappist monk Sir Thomas Merton, and my own teacher. And I see the way he engages with other religious leaders when he has the opportunity to do a public speak with them, a public talk with them. And so when I get the chance to talk about Dharma, I talk to Americans about this, don't jump into Buddhism thinking that you're immediately going to become a monk. It's incredibly difficult. You've got to go to India and have His Holiness ordain you if you're going into the Tibetan tradition, particularly Gelugpa. And there are places around the country where you can be ordained. But think about it first. We're so used to a very high-paced way of living in America, and it's very difficult, as it is, to be poor, let alone to take on a vow of poverty. And there are many people, many books out there, like Jack Kornfield has many talks that he's given about coming back to America and trying to maintain his monastic way of life, where he would beg for his noonday meal, and it didn't work out very well. And so he gave his robes back. And we shouldn't be in the business of giving our robes back. And that's precisely why the Indian government is not helping Westerners become monks anymore. So when I told my teacher 15, 16 years ago that I wanted to be a monk, he said, you're going to need about $30,000 for 5 years. And I said, well, then what's the point? So the more I thought about it, what America needs isn't more monks. What America needs is a system of lay people who can produce and sustain a monastic order. There will be a symbiosis once we have a monastic order that is being trained and taught the Vinaya and the ways of Buddhist teachings, and they're living them and sharing them with us, who are the ones that are sponsoring them and keeping them fed and keeping the roof over their heads and so on. So we need to be better lay people. And as an American, that's my responsibility. I'm doing what I can with my power as a Buddhist lay practitioner to support my teacher and our other resident monk at our center. And this is something that we should all be doing. But we should never forget the freedom that this country gives us to practice Dharma. That's given to us by our forefathers and has been fought for and won by every soldier since. So I think that is definitely something worth reflecting on.